Hi guys, welcome to Finding Sanctuary. My name's Karen. Today I wanted to share with you The Oracle of the Witch, Reclaim Your Birthright by Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Meiklejohn Free. It's illustrated by Mira Nuridanti, I hope it's pronounced, and it is a rockpool deck. Now this is a deck that was released in October 2022 or thereabouts. It is one that I've had on my radar for quite some time. I was looking at potentially pre-ordering it and making sure that I got a copy, but I actually didn't follow through with that, and I was very upset when I realized that I'd set a goal for myself to not purchase any more decks in 2023 other than those that I had already pre-ordered and paid for, or ones that I had backed through Kickstarter prior to the beginning of 2023. So when this arrived in the mail to me a couple of days ago, I was really excited. It was gifted to me, which was something that I wasn't expecting, and I was just so excited to have it and to be able to actually own this as part of my collection. So it says here, a time for all witches to reawaken to the magic of the old ways. Oracle of the Witch has been created to empower all those who wish to explore the ancient path of the wise. It's packed with wisdom and guidance, and it can also be used as a teaching tool for both seasoned witches and dabblers. Each card has a magical message and witch tips, and you will learn how to understand both the shadow and the light side of messages, and that really appeals to me. A magical incantation is also supplied to enable you to draw from and connect with the ancient wisdom of yesteryear. Discover how to harness your personal power as you forge together the magical forces of nature in conjunction with ancient wisdom, magic, and ritual. So there are 44 cards and a guidebook in this deck, and as you can see, the color palette is black and red and white, and I really like that. I think that's what caught my eye when I first seen it and really drew attention to it for me. So the color black is, magic and rebirth and spirituality, and red is all about courage and creativity and energy and desire, and the white is just a balancing, it's cleansing, it's protective, and of course it's linked to magic as well. So I think the color choice for this oracle is very good, and I just love the way that it actually all marries up when you actually hold it in your hands. So this is the guidebook. As you can see, it's quite robust. It's in the three-toned colors, which is really lovely. We'll have a look at that again in a moment, but we'll have a look at the cards. Now, it was the color palette that really appealed to me, and the work of Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Meiklejohn Free. I have here their 2023 Witches Diary for the Southern Hemisphere. They do make one for the Northern Hemisphere, and I really love the information that is contained in here, and I love using it. And I do have one that I had in 2022 and one in 2021 and 2020 and further back. So I really do enjoy having the diaries and the information that they share and the way that they work with magic and the elements. So I really do enjoy what they offer. So these are the cards. They're absolutely incredible. They do have a bit of a gloss to them, which I think you can tend to see. It kind of picks up the light depending on how I hold them, but hopefully you'll be able to see the cards. I'll just move the box over there. So much detail in the box. It's just incredible. So much detail in the box, and also in the top of the box. It's really incredible. So this is what the cards look like. So again, the cards have so much detail in them. It's just amazing. Every time I look at the cards, I did have a quick flip through when I first got it, but every time I look through the cards, there's just so much detail, and I always see something that I haven't seen before. And the energy of this deck it really draws me in. It makes me want to keep spending time with it. It's quite dynamic. It's such a fun, high vibe, and I find it really engaging, and it just, it really draws me in. But when you look through the different cards and you see all the different detail in them, there's just so much that you can actually get out of these cards themselves before we even look at, which I will show you in a minute, before we even begin to look at the guidebook and what it has to offer. And it has a lot to offer. So as you can see here, we have the moon, and the moon has a face on it. I just absolutely love it. The artwork is very fun. And as I said before, it's just amazing. So really enjoying this deck. I haven't actually used it for a reading. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And I'm kind of I have the Seasons of the Witch Oracle, and this one here reminds me of the Samhain one with the red colouring. But what I think this deck will be used for, they'll be used for all the different points around the Wheel of the Year. But this one here, I'm looking and I'm thinking, when will it fit into my practices and how will I use it? And I definitely think that it'll be those moments when I feel like I need a little bit of magic in my life and just want to call on some other elements and some other energy. But working with the moon cycles could be a really great time to use this deck and to use that for it. Beginning and endings of the year, I think, would be a great time to use this as well. And I think I would mix and match it with my Seasons of the Witch decks that I have, the Yule and Samhain and Beltane, and I have the Marbon on order. I think that I would definitely use this deck alongside it. I think it would just add an extra element to a reading. It's a really phenomenal deck. But I just love the detail in the images and the messages that are coming forward. It really is a fun deck. It feels quite wise, but it still feels quite fun. And it definitely has a high energy to it, which is something that really appeals to me, as I said earlier. So a great deck. So if you like decks that Flavia has done and Barbara have done before, this one I think would be one that you would like as well. If you like their diaries and things, I think you would enjoy this deck. And if you just like decks based around witches and witchcraft, I think that this could be a phenomenal addition to anyone's collection. It really is a beautiful deck. And even though red can often be seen as a colour of danger and urgency and as well as passion, I think it works really well in this space, and I think that it just adds that fun pop and vibe that really gets your attention. And yeah, it's really is beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to using this deck. I'm really excited that it was gifted to me and that I now have it in my collection. It really is exciting. So we'll just have a look at the guidebook. In here, it has an introduction, how to use the cards, Oracle of the Witch card collection, and it has all the different cards numbered for you with the pages, which makes it really easy to find them in here. The introduction seems quite good, quite robust. The invocation of the Oracle, it speaks about that, how to use the cards. I love the fact that this is the same color palette and it's all in color in the guidebook. Rockpool do a phenomenal job with making their guidebooks color. It really, for me, it's an added bonus when I get a colored guidebook. It really is something that I do enjoy. So here we have the pentagram spread, the Council of Witches. That looks like a very interesting spread that I will be doing very shortly. And then we have the actual cards themselves. And this is the Hag Stone. So beautiful. So with each card, we get the witchy guidance. We get the light side unveiled and the shadow side unveiled. We get an incantation and we get witchery. So, and it's the same for every card, which is really great. So for me personally, I love the light and the shadow side being unveiled. I think that's an aspect of these cards that I will definitely enjoy. I think it's also an aspect of these cards that I will, when using, the back of the cards are reversible. So they have this image on the back, which I actually don't mind. I think it's quite eye-catching. But it is reversible. So for me, if I was using these cards, or should I say when I'm using these cards, the main way that I would probably take advantage of that reversible back is that if I was pulling a card and it came out and it was upside down like that, then I would see that it's more of the shadow side of the message rather than if it came this way, and I would see it as the light side of the message. So really looking forward to using this deck, getting to know it and build a relationship with it, and getting to understand how it wants to work with me and the messages and the wisdom that it wishes to give, and the way that I can use it in my own practices and my own rituals. It really is a deck that I think will be one that I will reach for on a really regular basis, which is fantastic. And as I said, it was gifted to me, and I'm so excited that it was, because otherwise I certainly wouldn't be owning it, at least not in 2023. So really, really excited to have this deck in my collection.